And then we're going to come here to the Callaway truck. Of course, Callaway, you think Phil Mickelson. And when Phil Mickelson thinks Callaway, when he wants to tweak something, you know how technical he can get, he thinks Roger Cleveland. And I may be mistaken, but I think we may find Roger in here in the Callaway truck. I know he is leaving. A lot of these equipment trucks are out of here early week on most tournaments, but we will find these trucks here all week long. And like I told you, Roger Cleveland, what did I say? The man, the myth, the legend. And first of all, we talked last year about Phil and the wedges. I believe he had 6 wedges in his bag. And
I wish he had 6 wedges. No, he doesn't have that many.
When you talk about Phil Mickelson, you think how technical he loves to get. And he comes up with these crazy ideas. And when he comes up with them, who does he call?
Well, he calls Callaway Golf for sure, in the R&D department. Led by Ellen Hocknell, and I have a little involvement once in a while, and so it's great fun to work with him.
A little involvement. Those Mac Daddy wedges, which he was using, I think that was a collaboration between you two?
Absolutely. That's where the name came from. Yep. And so we named the whole series after that. So he's got a few of those in the bag, as well as a few other players. It's good.
So Phil Mickelson, known for his short game, nobody can handle a wedge the way Phil Mickelson does out there on the course.
Absolutely.
But the focus this week is going to really be how these guys are going to attack from off the tee. We're not going to see a ton of drivers. Phil's already said he's put a 2-iron in the bag. What can we expect to see from Phil Mickelson? I know you said you haven't seen him yet this week, but you do have an idea.
One time, just briefly, but what we have come out with this week on tour is a new utility iron. That utilizes the high-strength steel face that we use in our fairway woods in hybrids. And it's a 455 Carpenter, but it's a lot of ball speed coming off. So we have a beautiful cradle and a little bit slower, a lower CG and a very, very hot face. So that's what he's put in, and a lot of people are putting this in because of the firmness of the conditions, the potential wind. You can knock this down and hit it and roll it a long, long ways, and that's what he's doing. So he has that option, and he has been putting in a 2-deep and a 3-deep. He's been working at one around 11.5 and one about 12.5 to see if he can drive with that, and that's again the same material in the face as we do at the face of the utility irons, a lot of speed. And so he doesn't necessarily need a driver. This goes so far that he doesn't need a driver all the time.
Of course, you have a lot of big players out here in the field this week. So far on late Wednesday, what have you seen players come in here the most tweaking that they want done?
Well, this iron especially, okay, because it flights it down so well, and the wind is potentially this week is going to be a lot, and so that's going to really help them. And working with their lob wedges, taking a little bounce off because of the firmness of the conditions, especially if it gets windy, it's going to dry out, and you're going to see some tight conditions around the greens, and so a little less bounce is very helpful.
Has Phil changed anything with his wedges so far this week?
Well, he played Aberdeen last week, and so he got them dialed in there. Our trailer was up there, and if there's any tweaking, he usually carries a couple extra wedges with him, and so at different bounce angles, and so he knows what to do.
I told you, 6 wedges. This guy is a wedge machine.
He definitely carries that with him, I'll tell you that. He is.
Now, you know a thing or two about clubs in general, about these golf courses, and a lot of guys have said the wind here, probably the closest thing we see to on the PGA Tour is Pebble Beach, maybe once in a while in Texas, but the wind, everything's just heavier here. And Jim Furyk in particular was saying, you really have to trust it. You want to go 7-iron, you have to trust the 6-iron is going to take you there. How important is trusting your clubs after these guys walk out of this trailer?
Well, you not only, I mean, the distance, it's terribly important because you have that distance is key, and you have to flight the ball properly. And what Jim was just saying is you got to, instead of that 7, which is going to go higher as you hit it harder, you got to drop it down and 3/4 to reduce your follow through, so they'll flight the ball correctly. With a 6-iron, it's going to go the same distance, especially in the wind, and you're going to control the ball being low. The wind won't affect it as much.
All right, so give me your predictions. You saw Philly that Sunday 65 last week. You think he's dialed in this week? What's he going to do?
Well, I like Phil. I like his chances. he hasn't been trending just really good this year as he would like, or as much as he'd like. But I think he needs to have pressure on him. I think he focuses his game. And I really liked drinking out of that claret jug a little champagne last year, and I want to do it again. So definitely my money's on him.
It's funny you should bring that. Did you have a sip of that $40,000 bottle of wine people were sipping out of?
I did not have a sip of that. No. But I did have I held a claret jug.
Oh, fantastic.
Really fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your week here.
Thanks for being with you.
Back to you guys.